I don't know if you can see, but it's snowing. And I've got a stuffy nose, so pardon the sniffling. That was weird. I don't know why I did that, but it's going in the vlog. Cheerful start. Let's make it less cheerful. I was homeless a bit this summer. I don't really want to talk about it. I'm not angling for pity. But apparently we're talking about redemption this week, and you can't really talk about redemption without talking about, being in a place where you need it. So, it was bad, but then I talked to Bosway, who talked to Guthrak, who I didn't really know, and then I was sleeping on her couch. She's eccentric and wonderful, and a better person than basically everyone. Sorry, everyone else. Kufrock exists. You lose, but you also win because Kufrock exists. I'm not gonna claim some deeper knowledge of the struggles of being homeless because it really only lasted about a month, but I still want to talk about it because it doesn't get talked about enough. And like there's this fear and this guilt that comes with being homeless that really doesn't get discussed enough. So I wish I was alone in this. I wish it was something that no one ever had to deal with, but I'm not. This happens all the time. I'm really not that great with just explaining things off the top of my head, as you've probably noticed when I stop looking at my script. If I'm making eye contact, I'm talking like a weirdo. So we're gonna do some statistics. About 39% of America's homeless population is under the age of 18. That is 1.7 million homeless teenagers. Of that population, about 40%, 40% identify as some sort of gender, sexuality, or romantic minority. That's not me, because I'm an adult, but I met quite a few of people who do fit into this category, and they were wonderful, and they had so much to offer, but because they're homeless and because they are queer, they are essentially, in society's eyes, invisible. Okay, I cannot stress this enough. I got lucky. I had means and I was given the help to pull myself out of a rough situation. I had stable health. It was summer. Um, I had friends. I had really good friends. But for a lot of the people that I met while I was homeless and who I've met since then, both in shelters and on the street, they don't have these resources. A lot of homeless shelters in big cities don't even open until the temperature dips below a certain point in winter, and it gets really cold before then, especially if you're sick or if you're underclothed or underweight. Since I've gotten back on my feet, I've tried to give back to this community and help other people however I can. Because when I think back on the time I was lost, I honestly I don't know how people can survive that sort of situation. And the really sad part is a lot of people don't. You're faced with all this stress, and there's this enormous terror of the vastness of the future, and you hit this phenomenon called bounded rationality, which is this idea that your decision making and your rationality as an individual is it's limited by the amount of information you have, your cognitive limitations, and the amount of time you have to make a decision. So when you're put in a situation as stressful as, oh, I don't know, I don't have food and I'm starving, the plurality of options becomes next to impossible to see. And sometimes that's fatal. So I spent a good chunk of the summer working at a shelter for homeless teenagers, and there are a few lessons that the workers there taught me that helped me a lot, and that I think the general internet and really the general human population could use. The first step really is to identify the problem. For anyone who hits a roadblock of any size, you have to identify the problem because, yeah, sure, it might be obvious, like a lack of job or a lack of food, but for some people, it's nothing that dire. So you might not notice that that passive aggressive person you're living with is sucking out your soul, or that your boss is an abusive dick. Once you figured that out, you need to grieve your losses, even if you haven't lost them yet. I found this out the hard way. You have to let go of what was and grieve what you have lost to reach the next step. Um, this step is also really important because it's when you realize what you have and what you can lose. When you have nothing is when you can finally really take stock of yourself and know what it is that you need. So from there, you can do the next step, which was the hardest one for me, is you have to seek support. I learned from some wonderful friendships that were forged in the worst time of my life that this is not a sign of weakness. More importantly, people genuinely want to help. There's definitely still a part of me that feels guilty about needing help, even though I recognize rationally that that's silly. And I worry more than I like about how I'm ever going to be able to repay the kindness that has been shown to me. When in reality, kindness is inherently unselfish. There's no ulterior motives to kindness. So don't worry about repaying kindness. Focus on contributing more kindness to the already infinite pool of human goodness. So that leads me to step. I stopped counting the numbers. I don't know what number we're on, so just the next step. Um, Here and now, just take a few minutes to sit and breathe in and out and recognize that you are here at a place in time. And that time is now, and you've made it this far. Um, the past is unimportant because you are here now. So the final step, the most important step really, is really the easiest. Be kind. It's gonna sound a little selfish here for a second, but honestly, just being kind is the best way to make yourself feel better. I mean, if you have the chance to do something nice for someone, just do it. Or, even yourself. You have to take care of you, too. What I guess I'm trying to say is, redemption comes in two parts. Sure, you've got to sort yourself out, learn to be good to yourself, figure out what you're feeling and what you need, but sometimes it's not about dragging yourself out of the hole you found yourself in. Sometimes you need someone to help you up. I guess that's what I'm trying to do now. I just offer someone a helping hand like Kufrock did for me when I was in a hard place. Look after each other. Be kind, be gentle, be human. I hope this helped a bit. And yeah, that's it. Bye. Happy holidays.